Hello, and thank you all for sharing your wonderful examples and how you all use maintenance and generalization in your practice. I found myself agreeing and nodding um, within the main points about a multiple exemplar training and in its role with supporting generalization. And those who presented emphasized the needs for varying materials, settings, and examples during teaching, and mostly like the technical stuff. And I think that's absolutely true because it's the core of multiple exemplar training. But as I listened, I also noticed that something was missing from the conversation, and that was multiple exemplars only work when they reflect the child's real cultural context and home environment. And I kept thinking about how generalization fails not because we didn't use enough exemplars or a variety of exemplars, but because it doesn't match how the family naturally uh, communicates or organizes their day. For example, I've had cases where a child mastered transitions in clinic, used many different visuals and prompts, but the routine never really transferred home. Like in one Gulf family, transitions like always happened. This was a family in Saudi Arabia, and I was working for a Western style school, and it did not incorporate at that time um, prayer time, which is a significant daily ritual that's shared among family members, shared routine, like washing hands, which is called wudu, adhering to the call for prayer, which is like a SD for prayer, which one would wash your hands together as a family in like a ritualistic way and move as a group and shift between prayer times and also meal times and things like that. And once we incorporate those natural cues into transition routine, it generalized a lot easier and it was maintained because it's a natural thing that occurs within the family and something that they already did. Um, and I've seen this also in Chinese households, for example, where grandparents play a significant role in child rearing, and grandparents would often do a lot of things for their grandkids, which totally loving, totally normal, but it did not create the opportunities for a child to mend or a child for to perform like different daily living tasks. Like for example, one child would have his grandmother pick up all of his toys or all of his or prepare his clothing. And but once we got the grandmother involved in parent training, which is shouldn't just be called parent training, it should be called caregiving training, if you ask me. We had her allow him to pick up one of his items of toys or whatever he left on the floor, or prepare his own clothes himself on his own, like independently, to create those natural opportunities. And we immediately started seeing results with that because we incorporated their natural incorporated their customs, and we made those cultural adjustments. and and I think this and I know that this plays a role in long-term maintenance. Yes, so pretty much yeah, like there's a lot of technical value in multiple exemplars, of course, but if they're not playing any cultural relevance, um it it it's not as effective, like long term or even in its adoption, or generalized for that matter. So yeah, so that's what I would like to add, is that just to add that cultural relevance and cultural adjusting is key. So thank you, and I hope this was helpful, and see you next time.